is pound for pound the best MMA fighter in the world.
At the end of the day, you got to put on fights that fans want to see. Does it make sense to do Anderson Silva versus Jon Jones?
There's a ton of super fight talk. I love talking about super fights. The fans love super fights. Out of all the real possible super fights out there, which is one that you want to see most?
Anderson and Jones. That's the fight I want to see.
In a perfect world, Jones Silva takes place. Where would it take place?
If we made that fight and if everything went the right way, Madison Square Garden.
And who is the greatest pound for pound fighter? This was a question a lot of people wanted your opinion on.
Two great fighters. Who's better, Anderson or Jones?
People will discuss that Anderson could beat Jon. Anderson's not even close to Jon.
No doubt who number one is. I mean, if you're brain dead if you don't think that this guy's the number one fighter in the world, number one. And then you could argue over 2 and 3 between GSP and Bones Jones.
Skip Bayless, let me tell you something about this man. I don't know you because you might know, you might not. There's two dudes, when you think about the UFC, you think about two dudes. You think about Anderson Silva and you think about this man right here.
Who's the best athlete? I'm going to go with Anderson the Spider Silva. He's an MMA fighter, probably the greatest fighter of all time. I was going to put Jon Bone Jones in there, but until he beats Anderson the Spider Silva, I'm going with him.
Be critical of him, but when you look at his career compared to your career, you've already beaten guys that are Hall of Famers and just totally destroyed them. And the one criticism maybe he has is he hasn't had the kind of opponents that you have.
Nobody in this sport is able to do that. And it's why sometimes when I get these guys that start saying, I don't know, Anderson Silva might not be the number one pound. Are you out of your fucking mind? Nobody can do what this guy can do. He's the greatest of all time.
What's next for Jon Jones? He is running out of true challengers. He truly is. Jon Jones is one of the most dominant fighters in the history of the sport, and he's also the youngest champion in the history of the sport. We're really privileged to get a chance to watch this man perform.
Right here, right now, when I tell you, Anderson Silva does not care who he fights.
I mean, Anderson Silva's the pound for pound best fighter in the world. He's gone unbeaten since 2006. Jones is starting to win all these fights in a row, beating 3 former champions in a calendar year. I don't know, the way that he's looked lately, I don't know who beats this guy right now. And I think that the only one who can beat Jon Jones is himself.
two great fighters. Who's better, Anderson or Jones?